what should they do at QB2? We mentioned Desmond Ridder was not good in this game. You look at his numbers, 4 for 9, just 43 yards passing, 59 yards QB rating, 59 QB rating, under 5 yards per completion. Dare I say Colt McCoy-esque in this game. Now, he does have the mobility, and it was on full display, and he was playing with, let's just call it a lackluster offensive line against the Saints ones. But missing that throw at the end of the half that would have won you this game to the dump off to Andre Bocellia. And then the fact that the homegrown product, Clayton Tune, comes out and was he perfect? No, but much more efficient. 15 for 24, 163 and a touchdown, 96.4 passer rating for Clayton Tune, including what could have been the game-winning touchdown to Tony Jones Jr. Had a couple nice throws to Tajon Palmer, one down the sideline, Britton, that should have been caught. And I think about this, like we're talking about the Cardinals maybe parting ways foolishly with Michael Carter Jr. because he's not DeMercado. He wasn't a found asset by this team. He's not homegrown, which I think would be a mistake. Couldn't we use that same logic on the flip side then with Clayton Tune? Like, listen, I think Clayton Tune has limitations. I think he's got a long way to go. He's a raw player. But there's no question who's got the better arm between Clayton Tune and Desmond Ridder. And I saw Desmond Ridder perform tonight, and I had PTSD of too many games with the Atlanta Falcons last year, Britton Golden.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the mobility with Desmond Ridder is a plus, right?
Yeah.
You know, if he can get out of the pocket and he has to scramble and move around and run, run the ball, he can do that. He's got a good stride. He runs the ball well. He carries the ball well. But you're here to play quarterback.
Yeah.
If you can't make the simple 5-yard throws on a 5-yard drag to score a touchdown and win this game, right? That ball goes in the end zone before halftime, you win. It's 21-16 the final of this game.
Yep.
It's granted, we already talked about it. The offensive line was terrible for him. Yes, he was moving and having to get in and out of the pocket and do things, and he was discombobulated so many times, but under pressure, that's a play and a throw that you have to make.
Absolutely.
And Tune came out in the second half and he made those. He was under pressure too, but he stepped up. He made throws. Like you said, to that ball that Palmer dropped on the sideline, that was probably arguably the best throw Tune made tonight.
Maybe of his career.
I mean, it was perfect. Outside shoulder fade over the DB. Only receiver's got to make that play, and he drops the ball. So, I mean, Tune looked really well tonight. I mean, and he's got to keep that up throughout the preseason. And, it's also the preseason, right?
Yeah.
Tune looked good last year in the preseason.
Yeah, he did.
At times, I should say. He looked good last year at times, but, he got his opportunity. And he kind of got thrown into the fire against Cleveland last year. It was a tough one. But, it's not what you wanted to see. But I think if he can keep this on and show that he can make these throws and handle the pressure, I think QB2 stays with Tune.
There's an option. And as diehard Jessica says in the chat, like, can he do anything with this? Can Desmond Ridder hold him off? And I think if you're asking me my opinion right now, and again, they're going to have joint practices. The Cardinals are headed to Indianapolis early next week to do joint practices with Jonathan Gannon's former team. And Kyler Murray's going to be participating, obviously, but a lot is going to be said. Live bullets from Indianapolis, who, I mean, they got some fine defensive players. But at what point, if you're Jonathan Gannon, do you just say, hey, you know what? We're going to let Clayton Tune start next Saturday against Indy at, Lucas Oil Stadium. We know Kyler Murray's not playing in that game. Maybe let Clayton Tune go out there with what is the better offensive line at that point, the better receivers. You're going to play with Chris Moore. You're going to play with Zach Pascal. You're going to play with Tip Ryman, right? I wouldn't be opposed to that. And then say, hey, Desmond, you know what? Get Spencer Rattler's playing in the fourth quarter of a preseason game. Why don't you go out there and compete in the fourth quarter and see if you can put up gaudy numbers? Because again, like, Tune's going to make mistakes, but at least you have the ceiling with the arm talent. Like, I need to see a ceiling with Desmond Ridder, because right now the short intermediate throws, those have to be the layup throws if you're going to be Kyler Murray's backup.
I mean, and I think the preseason is the time where you do switch this up, right?
Yeah.
You got two guys vying for the quarterback 2 position right now. Desmond Ridder started week 1. I don't see why Clayton Tune doesn't get the nod in week 2, right? He had a better game today.
Yep.
And I mean, why not? You can literally flip the script. Tune can go the first half this next week. Ridder can finish with the second half. And like you said, can Ridder go out there against the 2s and the 3s and the 4s in the third and fourth quarter and play well? Can he make the throws? Can he handle the pressure? Can he lead the team down the field and score? And if he can do that and prove that, then now you actually have a quarterback battle. But if he can't, and Clayton Tune comes out and plays identical to what he did tonight, then I mean, I think he just completely separates himself and takes the position now.
Desmond Ridder can't do the bare minimum and win this job, in my opinion. Like Rondell Moore is injured; he's out for the year. So by default, fair or not, you've already won that trade with Atlanta, even if you opt to cut Desmond Ridder at the end of this preseason. But maybe this competition is just what Clayton Tune needed to be able to say, you know what, I have the better arm talent. I'm going to show my mobility a little bit, and I'm gonna put our team in a position to score points in the preseason. But again, I think, like, we know if Kyler Murray goes down for an extended period of time, like most NFL teams, like the Cardinals are in trouble. They're in big trouble. That's why it's apparent that they need to keep him healthy.